Hey everybody, how are you doing? This is Kirsten here, and thank you for joining me today. This is a Better Way with Kirsten Kimura podcast, and obviously I am Kirsten Kimura. So thank you for being here today. Today we're going to talk about a couple of different things, but the main topic, the big topic, is going to be strength training for beginners, right? So how to get started. I actually have a brand new program that I'm going to tell you a little bit more about in a second. How to get started and how to get past these ideas that this is too hard, I'm too much of a beginner, or I've let things go too far. Maybe I was like a pretty regular weightlifter before, but now it's been too long of a break. So we're going to cover these topics today. I'm also going to share with you my personal experience with getting back to exercise after a relatively long break that I had in 2017. And also, I'm going to share with you some pretty cool things that have happened since I picked up, guess what, kickboxing earlier this year. So this was pretty awesome. Has been a great experience. I want to tell you a story related to that that hopefully will help you to understand that everybody starts somewhere. Okay, so big announcement first. Then we're gonna do a little um, overview with the Strong and Sensitive program that I told you about last time, and then we get to some stories. Story time today. Okay, so the brand new thing that is coming out on May 14th, which might be when this podcast is airing actually, is my new beginner level strength training program called Train to Build Starter. Okay, so I already have a program called Train to Build, which is a dumbbell program, dumbbells, barbells, machines. But this one is Train to Build Starter, which means that this is for people who are brand new to lifting weights, or maybe who have had a longer break, let's say a year or more, haven't been lifting weights during that time, or done even body weight workouts. So this program will be a really good start for these types of people. So if you already have experience, you've already lifted weights for, like, let's say 6 months, this program is not for you. So you can go to Train to Build. Fantastic program for that. But Train to Build Starter is for those who are brand new. And I wanted to create this because I know there are a lot of people who are thinking this way, like, this is too late. I'm too old. I'm too far gone. Everybody else is doing this crazy stuff, right? Like, really big exercises, and they've got gotten so many amazing results, and I'm just like, man, like, I can't get my act together. Everything seems so complicated. I need a bunch of new stuff. So the thought of it might be really overwhelming, and that's why you're not getting started. Sometimes also people have this idea that strength training has to look like super hardcore, like pushing, um, being in pain. A lot of people have this thought that group fitness classes are what true strength training looks like, and just the idea of having this like overly enthusiastic instructor and like a bunch of people around you and using all these weird workout tools, just thought of it as like, nah, no, I can't do this. And one of my friends, actually, who is a highly sensitive person just like myself, she told me that this was the reason why she didn't get started for longest time, because she thought, this is going to be so hard, right? Can't do this, like, all these people around me. Also, I don't want to get like embarrass myself, which is obviously a big thing, right? We don't want to feel like, oh my God, I messed up, or I used some workout tool wrong, or absolutely have no clue what to do. So she didn't start with strength training because of all that. But since starting with my program, she's like, yeah, I can do my own thing. And all the videos and the instructions are there, and I love it. And she's making great progress. So she's using my Train to Build program as well. So this new program, like I said, Train to Build Starter, is available starting May 14th. Please go check out the show notes to see what exactly is included. I'll tell you a couple of things though, but you will go and read the whole thing about it, see if this is for you or if this isn't for you. And if you are on my emailing list, then you will get a discount as well. So you're gonna get a little discount that you can use until May 24th. So if you're not on my emailing list yet, then get on my list as well. Make sure that you're there and you're receiving my email so you get the discount code. Okay. So what I wanted to tell you about this strength training program is that all you need is body weight, right? So this is body weight and bands. Sorry, not just body weight. So body weight and bands. And I mean the long resistance band, and also I mean the shorter resistance band that typically goes around your knees, right? Or it's called hip circle. It's also called the booty band. So you need that, plus you need the longer resistance band, and then you need body weight. Well, you have that ready. So it's pretty simple. Also in this program, I give you 8 weeks worth of workouts, right? So you're gonna have different workouts. Every 2 weeks, we change something, we add something, we add exercises, or we add reps, or we bring on a new thing. You will get videos for everything. So I know that this is a thing for a lot of people who are beginners. Like, I don't know how to do this stuff, right? It doesn't help me to just read the exercise name. Yeah, of course not, right? So I'll actually I put in all the links there so you can click on the exercise name. You can see me demonstrating the exercise. And for the most exercise, you also hear me explain how exactly to do this. What are the tips? What are the things to pay attention to? Because I understand that as a beginner, you may have a lot of questions like that, right? So, and you don't want to get hurt. So absolutely get this workout program if you are new or if you've had a longer break than 1 year or more, then this program will be helpful. So I truly believe in this program. I also truly believe that this is a great program for everybody who's new, but especially for those who are more highly sensitive people, and also those of you who are dealing with TMS, so mind body syndrome. We talked about that a little bit in the past couple of episodes as well. So if you have a mind body syndrome or TMS, it means that you get body sensations, right? But they're not coming from tissue damage. You haven't actually hurt yourself physically. These problems are coming from stressed brain and heightened nervous system. But a lot of times people don't know this and they think that they have to protect themselves and physically they can't do stuff. Yes, you can do stuff. And this program is a really good starting point for those of you who are in this situation right now. You've had, let's say, TMS for a while, or you are recovering, or you have been thinking about starting strength training, but you're a little bit scared. So this program is a super nice and safe and gentle introduction to strength training, and you will do it with body weight and bands only. So I'm not going to make you, lift dumbbells or let alone like go to the gym and use machines. You don't have to do any of that. You can get started with body weight only. So this is the program. I hope you get it. Like I said, the discount is good until May 24th. That is Friday. So if you want to get that discount, make sure that you are on my emailing list and receiving my emails. Okay, so also wanted to tell you how we have been doing in the Strong and Sensitive program. So this is also something that I told you about in my last episode. So this program, Strong and Sensitive, is meant for people who are either highly sensitive or I should say have TMS. And this program combines mindset tools that so many highly sensitive people need to function better in the world. Really, we're dealing with like people pleasing, excessive guilt. We talk about like being too sensitive. What is that like when you hear that? Conflict avoidance, anxiety, how to deal with that. So part of the course is that, and then part of the course is strength training. So if you did a strong and sensitive mini course, the free course, then the bodyweight program that I just told you about, Train to Build Starter, is a great continuation right after that. So if you want to do that, you have that option. But this program has been going really well. I actually want to read you some of the things that people have sent me. So somebody says, I really like doing the exercises at my own pace and really focusing on them rather than trying to follow along with the video. I feel like I have a better form, and you're right, it is meditative. Yes, it is meditative, absolutely. And you're right, I'm not doing follow along videos. This is not my style of training. The only exception is mobility workouts, which also are included in this new program. There we can do this together because this is slow movement. We're stretching, we're holding positions. That's fine. But strength workouts, they should not be follow along because you want to move at your own pace. You don't want to feel rushed. You don't want to have like the instructor yelling at you like, 5 seconds break and then we go again. I don't do any of that because strength training is different. Like true strength training has to be different. And you really, when you focus on your form, technique, your reps, it is a meditative experience. And this was actually something that we talked about in the Strong and Sensitive course too. You can lift weights in a way that make it a meditation, right? So if you say you have like hard time sitting down and meditating, I get it. Most people get it. It's like, oh my God, it's difficult, right? What do I do? I still want you to practice it every now and then, or even daily. But sometimes you can also like turn your strength training workout into meditation. If you just pay attention, if you turn off your music, if you focus on what you're doing, it really is like meditation. Okay, some other things that I have heard from that free course was it was so good. It's been quite a while since I've done much strength training. I used to do X. I'm gonna beep out this name of the program because I don't want to talk crap about other programs, but it's a I used to do the name of the program, but those became too much for my nervous system. I really like the instructions to rest between sets and exercises at least for a minute to not trigger that stress response. That really helps. Yeah, that is true. So those super fast paced workouts are just push, 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 and you don't get any breaks. A lot of people think that this is the thing, right? This is how I burn fat and this is how I burn calories and let's do it. But no, I don't recommend that because working out isn't about calorie burning. And I know maybe for some of you, this is like, what, really? Yeah, really. Like the goal of your workouts, your strength workouts in particular, is to help you to build up your metabolism, build muscle, and this is not about calorie burning. This really isn't. And especially if you are a highly sensitive person or if you've had TMS recently or still have it, then you kind of want to take care of your nervous system so you don't like amp it up like crazy, right? It can, in some people, trigger that super heightened stress response. So that's another reason why we need those breaks. But honestly, even if you're not an HSP, even if you don't have TMS, you still need to sit down. Put your butt down and sit and rest. And this is how you recover from what you just did. So I've been getting some really good feedback here. I love hearing this. Also, somebody who had TMS told me that it's been pretty amazing how much my symptoms have dropped since I started doing your Strong and Sensitive program. So sweet, it is happening. The results are happening. So if you're highly sensitive, if you have TMS, then please get that 14-day course. I didn't even tell you about the other feedback that I've been getting regarding the mindset topics. You know, like I said, I've talked about people pleasing and conflict avoidance and try to fix everybody's moods. This is what we did yesterday. We talked about like feeling your feelings and all that. So I've been getting so much positive feedback, but I'm going to save that for another episode because this episode today is really focused on strength training and getting started with that or restarting it if you have been out of that game for a little while. So, which brings me to the story that I wanted to share with you today. All right, let's talk about it. So I know it can be so hard to be a beginner, right? It may seem like, oh my goodness, like everybody else can do all of these kinds of awesome workouts, and I'm super out of shape. I feel ashamed of how far I've let myself go. And it's just very overwhelming for a lot of people. But we have to remember that when we are looking at somebody else doing their thing, they were not born with the ability to do like heavy squats with holding a barbell over their head. They were not born with, being able to do like super heavy walking lunges. Any skill, like look at any martial arts or anything. All these skills were developed over time. And that's why we need to have like a baseline, good level of fitness, and it starts somewhere. Even if you're a super beginner, you have to start with the first step. Like nobody gets to skip any steps, right? So I want to tell you this story. So I started kickboxing. It's like a mixed martial arts kickboxing workouts this year, right? So I looked it up. January 2nd was my first workout. So in full transparency, I started these fighting workouts for emotional reasons. So I felt like I've been working so much on my inner self, right? Which I've been talked about a little bit on this podcast too, and doing this whole like emotional discovery thing. And I realized that I have so much like blocked crap in me, and I didn't recognize it for the longest time. And I wasn't aware of it. I didn't know that I had been expressing it all the time. Suppressing means that I like stored it away like so deep in my brain that I didn't even, it wasn't like a conscious choice. It's just like gone, not paying attention to it. So I didn't even know that I sort of had these like emotions that need to be kind of released, right? And so when I started learning all this stuff, which was, I think it was like July 2023, I started getting like closer and closer and closer to like understanding my emotions a little bit better. And I started to notice these things that, oh, I'm having moments where I'm feeling like real joy, although like not all the time, but I have like these little like sparks, right? Oh, there's a little joy. And oh, now I'm getting like so fucking angry, right? Pissed. So these things they started like waking up a little bit. And it's a really good thing. And I talked about my coach about it. It's like, no, this is really awesome. This is how it should be. Like this is how people who are like emotionally regulated, they feel these things, right? Or you're ready to cry more or whatever. And when I started discovering this thing, I was like, you know what? I want to see if I could work with my anger, my sadness with something a little more intense, right? So what could it be? And I had seen in my gym where I'm working out, I'm lifting weights. I had seen this trainer who is, who has clients who are punching the bag or doing the fighting workouts, like kicking and punching, all that stuff. And I was like, should I go talk to him? I don't know. I kind of want to try this. Like, I really just need like an outlet, right? To let's see if this could help with my old stuff, right? The old emotions that I hadn't released. So, okay, so I talked to him and it's like, sure, let's get you on a schedule. So that was in December 2023. So we scheduled for January 2nd. And since then, I've been going and working out with him every single week, once a week, just once a week, less than 30 minutes usually. And now, it's going pretty well. It's going pretty well. And recently, it's so interesting. Like I've been getting so many people during and after the boxing workout walk up to me and say like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! Like what you can do is like incredible. How do you move like this?" And then here's the question: how many years have I been doing this? And me and my coach, we look at each other, we're like, 4 months, 4 months. And they're like, what? Can't be. But here's the thing, right? So I'm not telling you this to like brag, because to be honest, like to me, like I am definitely more introverted person. It is, yes, it's nice to hear good words, but it's also like kind of puts you in the spot a little bit, and it's not like super easy, right? And then so to hear these things, it just made me realize that, for these people, it's like, oh my God, you can do all these things. And they think that I got it like overnight. But why? The reason why I'm able to pick these things up like relatively quickly is because I have this long history with working out, right? Or being active in some shape or form. Whether it is like, did lots of running, or then I did my HIIT workouts, which are crazy intense and like something that I wouldn't do anymore, and then a lot of like weightlifting and lots of hiking and just like being active. So this all started somewhere. Like nobody was born like this, right? And that's why, because if you have this like baseline of fitness, when you do stuff, when you're active, when this is your lifestyle, then picking up like new fitness things or like skills or things, it's it's easier. It's easier compared to somebody who has never done this. So that's why I don't want you to give up. So if you are right now in this point where you're like, I've never been athletic, I'm not going to try. No, it doesn't matter. You're going to try. You're going to have to try, and you have to start somewhere, because everybody starts somewhere. Nobody was like came to this world being able to like punch punch a bag at like full speed or like lift heavy barbells. Nobody was like this, but everybody had to start somewhere. So it's super cool to get this like feedback and all that. But also it's just like I want people to understand that this doesn't come from nowhere. You need a starting point. And my restarting point actually was in 2017. And this was a really kind of humbling experience. So in 2017, actually end of 2016, I had realized that I was so just like really overtrained. I had all these problems, right? Hormonal problems. The missing periods was the biggest one. And I had to take 5 or almost 6 months off from working out to heal my metabolism, to overcome like a lot of these problems that I've shared in this podcast, just like everything overtraining related, like so much stuff, like, and then also including, food, disordered eating habits. And I had to take some time and had to give my body like this complete rest, right? Because it was actually physically overtrained. I'm not talking about like, like the stressed brain or nervous system. This was not it. It was like actual physical things, because I beat my body up for so many years, for so long, by overtraining and undereating, right? So 2016, I realized I have to take this break, right? I had a conversation with my then acupuncturist, who's really, really nice guy, really good guy, super helpful. I'm still so grateful to him for putting me in this right path. And he said, yeah, you got to take a break, right? And I took a break, like I said, 6 months. And when I came back, it was super humbling. And I was a beginner again, right? Not in the same sense like as somebody who's never been athletic, but still like 6 months of doing nothing else than just yoga twice a week. It was a big thing. And so I came back. I had gained a lot of weight, right, during this time because I had to, because my hormones were not working without that extra weight gain. So I don't know how much I had gained at this point, but I knew that I was continuing to gaining. And I was like, I want to get back to my athletic me, right? Fit and athletic myself, who I had been before. But it was so hard because I couldn't do like a lot of the things that I could before. Let's say like I was able to do like I don't know how many body weight squats without any issues before. Now after 10, I was like out of breath, like I'm just wiped, right? I remember push-ups, which have always been a strong thing for me. Like I love push-ups, I'm good at push-ups, but I could not do one on my toes, the regular full push-up. I couldn't do it because my body weight was so much higher. My skill was down. I hadn't practiced it for 6 months. So I had to do like hands elevated push-ups, right? Put them up on a bench, which is the perfect beginner modification. And I had to do all this. And on top of that, it was also mentally difficult because at the time I was a boot camp trainer, right? I was training people and I had gained all this weight and my own fitness level had gone down. So you can imagine how difficult it was because I had to get back to it and put up like this like face that, oh, everything's fine. I'm cool. I'm okay. Right. It was hard to do. Like people at the same time, I obviously they saw that I was gaining weight. It's a lot of difficult things there. I had to get back to it. But then I was like, what's the option here, right? I want to get back to my fitness. So what do I do? Just like give up? How's that going to work out? So I just kept doing it. I kept doing my like hands elevated push-ups and added a few squats here and there. And some things went wrong because I didn't know how to be a beginner again. Sometimes I just pushed it too hard and I was like, oh man, that was too much. And I was hurting, but then I just had to like come back to basics and start again. And over time, now I can do all kinds of things. This is now what, how many years later? 7 years later, right? I can do all kinds of things, including like pretty hard like kickboxing workouts, uh, and then lifting heavy barbells and things. But there was this period when I was like down, like it was gone. It was super hard to come back. So, but I did, right? I started building the strength back up again. I started building the resilience up, mental and physical resilience up. And then you add more skills, it is easier when you have that background to add new things. And it's just for somebody who's looking at it from the outside might be like, oh, she's doing so well. But there was a starting point. There was a restarting point. It hasn't always been like super easy and like, oh, I was just born an athlete. No, right? So you have to build it. Everybody has to build it. And that's why I really wanted to create a program that is really encouraging, that takes it down to the basic level, right? The first step of your strength training. Let's start with body weight. Let's start with like very foundational moves. So some of the things you find there, for example, glute bridges and squats and band rows and things like that. Get your body moving without stressing you too much. So this is the starting point that I want you to have so that you can then build on it. And don't be hard on yourself if you are a beginner. If you can't do the band row right now, take a lighter band, do it with this one. You can always modify things, you can make them easier, but you have to get started because what is the alternative? If you want to be healthy and fit and strong in all kinds of ways, like muscle building is critical. I've talked about it so much. I feel like for a period of time, this is all that this podcast was about. Just build muscle, build muscle, build muscle. And my message hasn't changed. Of course, there's a lot of other things we have to do with our mindset. And this is definitely what I'm talking about more lately, as I'm sure you've noticed. So we have to do that too. But when it comes to your physical body, then you have to build muscle if you want to have the vitality and longevity and good health. And that includes so many things. It includes also your hormonal health, your blood sugar. A lot of times people are like, I'm too old or my hormones are a total mess. I can't do this. No, you can. Despite your age, you can. Your hormones will improve if you do strength training correctly. I do think that age is just a number. Just coming back to my kickboxing coach, my coach is 62 and one of the most vital, energetic, physically and mentally fit people that I know. So, despite all these injuries that he's had as a fighter, right, during his career, So anything's possible. You just have to get started. So I hope that this message today encouraged you. And once again, go check out the program, right? It is called Train to Build Starter. It is a beginner level, beginner level. So if you've been doing this for a while, probably not for you. But if you're listening to this, you're like, yes, I know I need to get started, but I need to make it doable for me. I need to start from like ABC, the bare bones, the basics. Then this is the program for you. 8 weeks, body weights and bands only. And after that, you can graduate to the next level. All right, so this is all I have for you today. Please check out all the show notes. So you will find the show notes for the free course, 14-day strong and sensitive course, as well as this brand new Train to Build Starter course. So you can get them both if you want to. So thank you so much for being here today. Let me know if you have any questions at all, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.